that brushy area that you're shooting through, you'd never hit them. The bullet would have no more accuracy because it's spinning. Remember one thing. A lot of people, for some reason, believe that bullets tumble in flight. Bullets do not tumble in flight, but they're not supposed to tumble in flight when they come out of a gun. They tumble when they hit, perhaps. When they hit the body or hit some brush, but they don't tumble in flight. So what we have here is the .223, a very light bullet, just clipping some of those little branches out there, and that was enough to start them tumbling. Now we're going to try the Russian round, the 7.62 by 39, out of a Valmet, which again is a civilian version of the AK-47. 2 shots. Here's our 7.62 by 39. You see one round went through straight, one round completely went through sideways. You notice the front plate here. I shot about like this, and notice the distance between these 2 hits. Now, when I take this away, you see how that bullet, the bottom bullet, went through, tumbled, and went in a completely different direction. It's probably going up for a while. So the point is, if someone was hiding directly behind the brush, they'd be in big trouble, even though the bullet tumbled. But if they weren't, if they're further away, the bullet would have missed them. This bullet would have. This bullet may not have hit any brush. It may just have touched a couple of branches, or real light ones. We don't really know. This is the 308 NATO, or 7.62 by 51, fired from a FN. I'll fire 2 shots. And now let's take a look at that target. Well, let's take a look at that. Thank you.
Here's the head.
Here's our 308 bullets, 7.62 NATO, and you can clearly see that they tumbled also, which shows you that any bullet can tumble when it hits brush. Here's the entries. It's actually this way, and that's what happened through the brush. So not only do 223s tumble, 7.62s by 39s tumble, but 308s can tumble too. Now we'll try the 30 carbine. Here's our 30 caliber carbine target. Notice also the bullets have tumbled. Once again, this is a cartridge with the bullet head, and this is the actual bullet. You notice here the size. I wanted to show you the relative size. It's quite a bit smaller. That's why the holes are sort of odd shaped compared to the other ones. But they tumbled just as well. Here's the entry holes. Entry hole here, and it's just grazed the top of that one there, and tumbling underneath. Went through the brush, hit something, caused the bullet to tumble. What we saw here is that all the calibers tumbled. Does it mean that a bullet will always tumble? No, it doesn't. It depends on what it hits, how it hits it. But what you can be sure of is that a bullet is capable of tumbling. And if you're firing at someone who's far beyond the brush, you probably won't hit them if your bullet tumbles. Just for fun, we're going to try, as a comparison, the basic 45 with 230 grain full metal jacket hardball ammunition. Let's see how that makes it through. Here's the 45 ball, which went in here. You see there's 2 holes right there, very close together. And you can see the spread, how they did tumble. They hit the wood and they also tumbled. These are not standard 45 entry holes. A standard 45 entry hole is a nice concentric round hole. So it also tumbled. Next we'll be trying something a little more interesting. You notice the difference in sizes. We get up to this. This is a 50 caliber bullet, which you're going to fire out of a 50 caliber rifle. This is Bruce MacArthur. And Bruce, you built this gun out of scratch?
Yes, I did.
It's a 50 caliber rifle. How much does it weigh?
34 pounds.
34 pounds. How far can you shoot with this thing?
Now, the range of the projectile is 4 miles. Accuracy is about 1,800 to 2,000 yards.
Good God. What kind of accuracy do you get at 2,000 yards?
I've never fired it that far.
What's the furthest you ever fired it?
500's been the furthest, and I can get about 3-inch groups at 500.
Amazing. Well, you think you can penetrate that brush?
We'll give it a try.
Okay. Fire again. Here's our 50 caliber target, and much to my surprise, the bullets also tumbled. Here's how they went in. They went through the brush, came out that way. This is a 700 grain bullet. An enormous bullet, tremendous power, but even that was deflected slightly by the little branches we have set up. What's the conclusion? All bullets are capable of tumbling, even with light brush. Something you should remember. This is standard 1/4-inch plate glass, the type commonly found in any store window. We're going to see if firing a rifle bullet through the plate glass will deflect the bullet significantly. The glass has been placed at a 20-degree angle to the bullet's path. This is the glass we shot through. The glass was placed at about a 20-degree angle. Behind at about 8 feet were the targets. This is a standard plate glass that you'd find in any store window. The first one was a 223, which I was aiming for about here. Hit here, it keyholed. It was not a straight through hit. And notice the little marks all around. This is little pieces of jacket we determined later on, and little pieces of glass perhaps, but mostly jacket. The point is, with a 223, if you're aiming at someone behind the glass, you probably would have hit him. Even though the round had keyholed, you'd probably hit him. Let's go to the next one. The 7.62 NATO also was pretty accurate. You would have hit somebody behind them. You can see some little pieces of jacket here all around. Not bad. We'll go to the next one. This is the 7.62 by 39, the 7.62 Russian, or the AK-47 round. Now you see all those holes? That was actually one bullet. What happened is that apparently this is a very cheaply made bullet because the jacket separates from the lead core very easily. And I think this is where the bullet went, the lead bullet, perhaps, and the rest of the stuff is pieces of jacket that went through. The jacket wouldn't be enough to really damage anyone. It'd cut you up, but it really wouldn't put anybody out of action, where the bullet probably would still have enough power to do so, quite certainly. And also notice the deflection on that. It went quite a bit higher up here after it hit the glass and came apart. Then we go to the .30 carbine. Now it looks like there are two bullet holes in there. It's actually one bullet. And you notice I was aiming for this area. The bullet deflected up here and burst into at least two parts, perhaps a jacket and a bullet. You have two distinct holes here. So the point being in this one, with a .30 carbine, you probably would not hit what you were aiming at behind the glass, depending on the size of the target, of course. But we found some very interesting things, mainly that the glass is hard enough, even just a 1/4 inch of glass, to separate a bullet from its jacket. Shooting through glass at 20 degrees. Now you can imagine shooting straight on, you'd probably have more or less the same effect. If we can shoot quite accurately, as we did, shooting at a 20 degree angle, shooting straight on should present no problem with accuracy, but it will keyhole the bullet and strip the bullet of its jacket. Now let's try shooting through laminated glass, a car windshield. A windshield is a lot tougher than plate glass and is almost invariably at a sloping angle. Let's see what rifle bullets will do. Here are the results of our auto windshield test. We shot at targets which were simulating passengers in the front seat of a car. We shot through the windshield at about 40 meters. First one was a .223. You notice the numerous perforations. What happened, I was aiming about here. The bullet struck here. The jacket was stripped from the bullet. We found pieces of jacket all through here on the other side. The bullet still had sufficient power to penetrate through the front seat into the back seat, and it probably stuck somewhere in the trunk. But it was sufficient enough to go through the windshield and hit somebody, and it was quite accurate. Now we'll try the .308. Notice the two distinct holes. This is about where I was aiming. I moved my point of aim so I wouldn't hit the same hole. And we had two holes there. It was also the jacket being stripped from the bullet. Once again, this bullet had sufficient power not only to go through the back of the front seat, but through a bulletproof vest we had. Well, we had a bulletproof vest which is designed to stop pistols, and we thought it would stop the fragments, but it had quite a bit of power. Went quite all the way through it. This is the 7.62 by 39, the AK-47 round. The accuracy you can't quite tell from the target itself because you don't know where I was aiming, but I can tell you the accuracy was okay. I was aiming at about this area, but notice how the keyhole, severe keyholing here, and here. The bullet just completely came apart. It did have quite a bit of power still left in it probably. To penetrate, it penetrated through another layer of vest we had there, but it just disintegrated virtually. The jacket was stripped from the body. .30 carbine. Once again, we have two holes, and this one we worked at and recovered the pieces, and we found the bullet, which is a piece of lead, which I think went through this hole, and we also found the jacket. This is the stripped jacket. It's just mushroomed out and stripped. This is a .30 carbine. Now the .30 carbine actually deflected quite a bit from where I was aiming. So, and this stopped very easily in the vest. Just for interest, we also decided to try a 45 pistol, 45 ACP pistol, and this is the results we got. It penetrated through the window and hit very accurately at the point of aim. It did keyhole though. It did change. You can see from here, this is not the way a 45 bullet should look, a bullet hole should look. The bullet did keyhole and go through with sufficient force to injure someone. So the conclusions in this, I have to say that the windshield didn't stop any bullet. It didn't deflect any bullet sufficiently to make the bullet